We continue now our coverage of the 20th anniversary of the Cedar Fire, that devastating fire that tore through San Diego County in 2003, destroying thousands of homes and taking 15 lives.
It was an all-hands-on-deck situation. I spoke to a San Diego firefighter who was brand new to the department back then. This was his first major fire that he ever responded to. Meanwhile, I had just been hired on by CBS 8 right here, and ironically, the second day of the fire was my first day on the job. Chaos across San Diego County. The 2003 Cedar Fire was unlike anything anyone had ever seen here.
I remember waking up, going outside and just seeing kind of ash on all the cars. Even here in Pacific Beach, there's ash on cars and kind of a gray haze in the sky.
San Diego Fire Rescue Engineer Michael Silva will never forget the eerie start to that October morning. He was 24 years old and had just graduated from the Fire Academy. He vividly remembers the all call to grab his gear and head in to help.
I went to Station 28 and had my gear, and they said, okay, go ahead and sit on the lawn over there. You're going to wait for an assignment.
Silva was so new that he and other probationary firefighters waited hours for an assignment and for an engine. The fire was growing larger, and so was the panic.
This was such a huge, chaotic event that the city and the department had really never seen anything to that magnitude. And so people were showing up, and they didn't have fire engines for them.
While still waiting, Silva says the day took yet another bizarre turn.
All of a sudden, you know, we hear this boom, and there's this smoke going up behind the station, and we hear there's a plane crashed over there. So it seemed like Armageddon. Planes are crashing, fires are burning.
Eventually, Silva and 11 other firefighters piled into an engine that typically seats 4. The group was sent to Tierra Santa, where our CBS 8 archive footage shows the fire was ripping through homes and condos.
They're burning right and left. We can't put them out. The water won't put the shingles out.
Police officers were even handing out equipment to the firefighters and trying to help. Resources were so limited. You can see firefighters using garden hoses.
You would go to a house that's on fire and do your best, and then you'd go to another one, you'd come back, and the one that you thought you put out was now totally up in flames.
Meanwhile, across town, veteran CBS 8 TV news anchor Barbara Lee Edwards was on the anchor desk nonstop for hours. As a rookie reporter, I walked into CBS 8 the following day for my already scheduled first day on the job. Within 2 minutes, I was sent out on my first assignment.
The Red Cross needs volunteers to help those affected by the fire.
That's me live on the air for the first time in my hometown from Mira Mesa High School, which had been turned into an evacuation center. Some of the people we spoke with that day showed up to volunteer. Others had no idea if their homes were still standing.
Can't really say it's comfortable, but it's just waiting until you can finally go see what's going on where your house is.
It was an unrelenting disaster. It was a day full of adrenaline, and for so many of us, it was a true trial by fire.
Reporting live from Mira Mesa High School, I'm Heather Myers. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Heather.
You know, unlike me, San Diego was your home. You're a hometown girl. On top of all this being the new job, you had to worry about people you knew and loved.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there were so many friends, family members that we knew that either had the fire come through their neighborhood or really lost their home altogether. And I remember telling my parents as I was at work, like, please pack my stuff so that way I have clothes to wear in case you have to evacuate and I need to come back to work the next several days. So there were a lot of us that were making multiple calls and trying to check on things while covering the fire at the same time.
It was just the strangest of times, and we didn't have the cell phones we have today where we could take video, FaceTime, do so many different things. Yeah. Communication was more difficult. You would get dead cell tower tones because everybody was on the line. There were so many different things going on. Coverage, I know, was very critical at that time, and we were on a lot.
And you can see from hearing from our firefighter there how much has changed in the response to these fires, not just on behalf of firefighters, but even how we respond as journalists to these types of incidents.
I can't even imagine what was going through his mind on his first days on the job dealing with that.
Something that huge. Shocking.